Yo, what's going on, y'all? We are live. We are live, baby. We are live. We are live. We are live. Listen, man. It's time to talk about it. It's time to talk about it. You know, it's a lot going on. It's a lot of people doing great things, and I'm excited, man. Let's have this discussion tonight. I'll tell y'all why I want to have this discussion tonight in a little minute. And I'll tell you why it was a last second kind of thing in a minute. But right now, all I need you to do is share this out. Let people know we are live. We're doing a community advocate discussion. We got people doing work in the community, doing great work in the community, doing amazing work in the community. I want to talk about the amount of support that they feel from the community. I want to talk about the amount of love that they feel from the community. I want to talk about the way they feel about activists in the community, about the way activism is documented in the community. I want to talk about why it's important sometimes that we do things that we really don't understand, that we may not understand in advocacy. I want to talk about a lot of things. There's so much to cover tonight, but I want to go ahead and let you guys know we are live. Come on in. I do not plan on having this going any longer than an hour. So we should be off by 8 o'clock and we can get back to our nights. So if you plan on getting ready to go to the club, which closes at 11 o'clock, you still got time. Club closes at 11, y'all. The close at 11, because at 11 o'clock, that's when Corona goes crazy. Can't get that post 11 p.m. I see you, Erica. Get that post 11 o'clock Corona. We don't want y'all getting that. We want to keep y'all safe. We live, man. Listen, go ahead and share. Let them know we got a community activist forum. We have real life community activists, people that I know do work. We'll talk about. We also will talk about that, about the idea of people who do work and people who do words. It's two different things. There's people who do work. I just thought of that. I literally just thought of that. I promise y'all, I'm not a rapper. All right. All right, I'm gonna do this tag real quick and then we out. And then we get started. Community Activist Forum. And if you are a community activist who feel like you should be a part of this discussion and I didn't include you, please let me know and I will gladly send you the link as well. Because also, you know, it's also important that we understand that there are so many different sides of this game. And there's so many people that's involved in this game that trust me, the people that's on here are not the only people that's doing work. They're just people that I know that I can readily access anytime I need to because they do work. You know, it's like that. But yeah, I'm sharing this out right now. And then we're going to get started, man. Get started in just a second. Go ahead and tag these wonderful people. I got Shakim. I got Erica. I got Elvin coming because he getting a haircut, but he said he coming after he finishes his haircut. You know, people get real sedity when they come to this. I don't even know why people get so sedity about this show. I'm just a dude with a camera. You gotta get a haircut for me. You gotta get a haircut for me. No, you don't. No, you don't. You can look how you want to look on my show. I am not a fancy person. All right, man, let's do this. I got two of my panelists in the background. Yo, hey, what's up, Kwanzaa? Thank you for joining. Hey, baby, my wife Latoya, hey, and Danielle Lee. You already know what time it is. I see you. All right, let's cook. I'm gonna unveil my new because
I knew that was something I needed to have.
All right, like in Nuclear, which is
They are clearing the House of Information.
None other than one of those very heroes. So, for those who don't know, I'd like you to take a couple minutes.
Are you originally from the Charleston area?
And a youth in South Carolina.
yeah, I'm raised.
Hey, well, my name's Alex.
The team is when the Emmanuel to spread love.
Hello, world, and welcome back to Real Talk with ReZsaun when nothing's off limits. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you are here with me, and I appreciate that. I am your host, ReZsaun Lewis. Now, here on Real Talk with ReZsaun, everything's debatable, so on any given week, we could be discussing anything from sports to music to politics. You name it, we'll discuss it. I want to take this quick time to shout out my sponsors. Special shout out to science2see.com if you need banners, decals, business cards, t-shirts, cups, anything made, you want to go to www.sciencetoc.com. They can get you started. And if you are looking to start a career in cybersecurity, you want to go to www.cyberprepu.as.me. They have trained IT professionals ready to get you started in a career in cybersecurity. But with that being said, let's open up the lines, because that's what we're here for today. We're here to talk about the community activism. We're here to talk about the work. We're here to talk about what's happening in the community, because there are people doing real work that we need to talk about it. We also need to talk about the love amongst the activist community, because sometimes we don't see that. So I want to make sure we have the opportunity to show that, and let's have some real discussions in a real way. We're going to agree on some things. We're going to disagree on some things. But one thing we're going to do the whole way is be respectful of one another. So I'm ready for discussion tonight. I'm ready to do it. And I got two of my good friends. I got Mr. Shakim Amin Aket and Miss Erica Cope. Thank y'all so much for joining us.
Peace. Thank you. Thank you for having me. What's happening?
Y'all already know, man. Y'all already know. So please, just briefly, just by way of introductions, we'll start with the lady first. Please introduce yourself to the audience for those who do not know you yet.
My name is Erica Coakley. I am the founder of Voices United, a nonprofit organization. I'm a parent. I'm an advocate right here in Charleston County. And right now I am running for the local school board, Consolidated School Board, District 10, West Ashley.
Thank you so much for that, Erica. And Mr. Shakim.
Yo, peace, fam. What's going on, man? It's Brother Shakim. Y'all know who I am. Man, just, I'm the co-founder of the Community Resource Center, North Charleston. Man, we've been around for a while doing our thing, man. So I'm right here. Good to be on the show, family.
You already know. And both of you guys are returning guests, so y'all already know what time it is. Y'all know how the discussions flow here. We come up with some topics and we talk about them. I want to start with the reason why I wanted to have this forum. Because I want to make this statement, and then I really want to get your reactions to my statement. So we're in a time of in our generations, an unprecedented amount of activism, if you will. Activism shows itself in many shapes, forms, and fashions, whether it be protesting, whether it be community advocacy, whether it be working in the nonprofit sector, or working in schools, attending school board meetings, attending town hall meetings, just sending emails to elected officials and legislators. It's taken so many different forms. And I think in that, you tend to find divisions within the sector of activists, and people who sort of look at other sides of the activism realm in different ways. I want you guys to speak to what you've seen in terms of that separation. We'll start with Shakim.
Well, peace. Man, I think one of the things that are good, about activism is you get a chance to meet a lot of people, and you get a chance to kind of like maneuver your way into seeing how things actually work. I've learned a lot seeing how things work, and understanding that there are levels and different avenues to activism. I think it's a joyous thing when you really start, kind of seeing progress and understanding what the definition of progress is. It's a wonderful thing. And I think one of the main challenges is when you start maneuvering through the world of activism and you start venturing off in different areas, people who sometimes were with you, they don't understand your growth and your development. So it's like when I first got out of the joint, I was straight, black nationalist, straight up. That was where my head was at. I came from being a 5%er, nation of God and earth, so nation of Islam. So I kind of evolved when I was younger and moving up and studying different schools of thought. I began to see bigger pictures and different avenues. So the people who were with me when they loved that approach, when I began to say, what, I think I can make a lot of leeway in the world of politics. A lot of people disagree. Oh man, we'll politics, and we don't want to have nothing to do with that. So
did he go away? Did he? Do you hear America?
Having to grow, I ended up growing and moving in a different lane. So there were certain people who were with me that were no longer with me. Then a lot of people joined on to me and say, yo, you know, this brother, I can see the vision and I can see where it's going at. And to make a long story short, I think what happens is people don't understand that as we grow and as we mature, we're going to find different avenues that we grow and we inject ourselves in. So a lot of times you might have people who hate. You might have people who congratulate you. You got people who follow you. You got people who cancel you. But at the end of the day, you got to do what makes you happy. And I think activism, there's so many different, there's so many, stop, boy. Sorry. There's so many different ways that people can make impact, you know, in our society that, you know, we just don't understand why, you know, people move in ways that they do move. But I mean, I just kind of learned, to be honest, man, I kind of learned at the end of the day, I got to go with what makes me happy. Because at the end of the day, I live with me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm fine with what I do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if people got mad when I said, you know what, I'm gonna work with Mayor Summy to see how we can circulate tax dollars in the community. You know what I'm saying? That's what I felt was needed to help us. You know, to help me, to help other nonprofit organizations and activists get on. See, my thing, I want to put people on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's me. That's how I always been. So the thing is, bro, you it's sometimes it's ego, but then a lot of time it's not ego. It's just people just don't want to move. People just move in different lanes. So the thing is, at the end of the day, what I base my decisions on is how is someone helping or benefiting the community? Do people give back? Are people helping people to grow? How are you spreading the love, bro? If you spreading love and you helping your community, I'm all for it. I don't care what avenue or lane you taking. That's how I just kind of grew and developed.
Right, I love that. Thank you for that, Erica. I want you to same question. As we're looking at the different ways that advocacy has taken form, the different divisions that we've seen within the confines of activism. What have you seen?
Just to get to it, like, to just be quite honest, like, not when you're from the outside looking in, and so you step out because you see other people doing stuff. And when I stepped out into activism, all I said was, I'm a mom. I'm a mom that saw this going on. I'm a mom that saw this going on. I've never even really considered myself an activist, I guess you could say. Yeah, I mean, I just stand up when I see right is right, wrong is wrong. I always find myself being like the mediator, I guess, because I always said that the ultimate end game, if it was the same, it doesn't matter how anyone gets there. You know, just because you like chicken and just because I like pizza doesn't mean it's not right, or, you know, we're both going to get full at the end. So I just feel like amongst what I've seen right now is I don't like it, because just because you won't do it doesn't mean it should be shunned down or looked upon, no matter what it is, or how you're, however you're portraying your activism in the community, whether you're writing the letters, whether you're only making phone calls. It doesn't matter how you do what we do, as long as we're all on the same page about it. And to be honest, when I see different people, and when I saw different people doing the different things down here in Charleston, under my umbrella of my nonprofit, I just really, like I said, that collaboration and partnership, that's what it's about. Like, how can I really bring us all under one umbrella? How can we agree to respectfully disagree with one another, but still have the same meaning in the end? Now, it's people that I've seen, and it's like, you know what, I go to this person, it's like, no, we don't want this to happen, because we all still need each other in the end. I've been to another person, is like, you know what, we don't want this to happen, because we're all going to still need each other in the end. But to respectfully come together and then figure out tangible solutions, that's the biggest thing that I see that divides people. Because, you know what, some people might be fighting for special education, whereas you got someone else that's fighting to have a way to feed homeless in a community. Whereas you got someone else that's fighting for kids to have better education. You might have someone fighting for minimum wage. I did that. When I got out there with $15 a minimum wage, fight for 15, and we shut down the crosstown traffic, there are people that I know personally in my circle now that looked at me and was like, well, why were you doing that? When I had problems with my school bus and I was out here stopping them, I had people that came to me and said, well, why are you still doing that? And why are you doing it this way? Instead of you trying to tell me or ask me, you know, come to me and help me fight a fight, don't tell me how to fight a fight from the outside. You come and you help me, or you point me in a direction. So, or either we do it together. And so that's when I say, well, I heard somebody else ask, what does it mean to agree to disagree? This is what I mean to agree to disagree. We all agree on something. We just don't all agree on the way that we're doing it. But if we respectfully and organize and come together, we can strategically still figure out what it is that we're trying to do. We just have to be respectful of one another when we're doing it. And that's the divisiveness that I've seen. It's because of the avenues that our people are taking and the things that they're doing to get there. I mean, we don't have to, you know, again, someone else might be fighting just to have the better schools. How do we do that? How can we do that together? We have to come together to figure out what it is that we're fighting for. And again, I said, you might be giving somebody food, but if you're not teaching them how to continuously get food, it's not going to help them in the long run. So if we come together and figure out exactly what the problem is, or maybe you're giving them food and maybe what they need is gas. So now you're wasting the resource that you're giving them. But if we come together,
that's where you're wrong at.
Find out what the problem.
Let her finish.
Go ahead.
If we come together collectively and find out exactly what those problems is, like going out into the community together, then together we can offer those resources. If you don't have those resources, then maybe those resources. If you don't have those resources, then maybe someone else has those resources. But like I said, everyone's not fighting for the same particular thing, all fighting for the same end goal. So whatever you specialize in that. And when I do something, please, by all means, come and support me. And whenever you specialize in, when you do that, guess what? I'll be there. And I've always been that. And my motto is, I'm still the same person then as I was. I'm still the same person now as I was then. And that goes to anybody about any.
Yeah, I feel that. I see my sister Sharea's come in. I want to go ahead and let her introduce herself to the audience, please. Go ahead, sis.
Hey everybody, most of you already know who I am, but I am Sharea, an activist just like everybody else. I'm on the line. Of course, my platform started out education, although it has migrated a little bit, but it's still, for the most part, education. And I want to say that although I do stand for everything Black, I am not a Black Lives Matter activist per se. I am not on that particular team, but because I am an African-American female, of course, I'm going to stand for everything that fully encompasses us as a whole, whether it be economically or spiritually, educationally, and so on and so forth.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, sis. Now, I wanted to go back to a point that Erica made, because I know Shakim wanted to chime in on that. I want to go back to again, the division, right? And because y'all know me, I'm a solutions person. I am a person who looks at a problem and says, how, you know, what is that thing that brings us together as opposed to the thing that separates us. So even in that question, I was looking to find those kinds of things, right? So Erica, you made a great point about the fact that, you know, sometimes, you know, we have people who may be directing services in a certain way, and maybe people, Jason, definitely, I'll send you the link, Jason. I'll send you a link in a second. We have people who conduct their services in a certain way to solve a particular problem, and maybe their resources. Hey, Shakim, can you mute real quick?
Let me. Oh, okay. I want to respond too. Give me a second. I want to respond.
I know you do. I got you. Their services they direct their services in a certain way because the way they would direct their services is to reach a desired end. But what we have to realize is that we all have lanes to run. I spoke about this on Brother Shakim's video the other night. Is that if we do have to identify a situation where we have one group of people that is giving away food, right? But people actually need gas, we shouldn't be bashing the person that's giving away food. We should instead create resources to get people gas to go with the food. So now we say, hey, Brother Shakim, I see you got the food thing. What can I do to make sure that you got gas cards? I think that, and I think that when I see the divisions within the activist realm, and again, I'm not an activist, I'm just a guy who's friends with a lot of them. That's where I see, like, we nitpick one another as opposed to figuring out how do we add on to what the other brother and sisters doing. I wanted Shakim to go ahead and respond to that, so I'm gonna go ahead and unmute him because he had some whistling in his background, and I want to make sure.
My son, man.
I know.
You know my son. You know how that goes. So yeah, I think. Hey, Jonathan, chill out. Hey, so I think that's kind of like, you know, not to say not any slight towards Erica, but I think that's what the problem is, right? Because, you know, when you say, yeah, you know, that's good, but that's not, you know, the solution. You just giving a person a plate. You're not teaching them, you know, how to eat. You can't say that because if a person says, man, I just want to come out and fix a hot meal and give it out to people, then that's what I appreciate that. See, that's what I mean by people are so, and Erica, I'm just saying, people are so quick to and I used to be like that too, but people be so quick to undermine, you know, people's efforts. But if all this person got is a meal to get that person through the night, man, give that person a meal. If a person want to go out and give batteries, bro, go give out batteries. It doesn't matter. If a person, even if you're not teaching a person how to fish, sometimes that person might just need to get through the night with a hot meal. Bro, we was down in Tent City many times giving people hot meal. That's how I started out. Before I was able to get, you know, big and doing things and doing so many things. But I had to start off small. So sometimes you gotta respect people's heart. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part of it. Bro, if somebody came out and said, bro, all we gotta give is something, I appreciate that. And that's why I think a lot of activists clash, because we be like, man, you know what? Like, oh man, they not doing this, or they not teaching people how to fish. You know, they just giving a person a fish. Well, give that person that fish and help them get through the night. If that's all you got, hold on, let me finish. Let that person go, man. Do you. And like ReZsaun said, if I got something I want to add on, by far, let them people add on. But I can't say, oh, I got a computer lab, so everybody else that don't have nothing, you know, you got to do this. You can't do that, man. Let people do what they do. Embrace people. And man, one of the things that I learned so far, like in this game right here, like I said, do what makes you happy. By far, advocate and just give from your heart. Don't worry about what nobody got to say. You do you, man. And I think that's when you will start finding happiness and success in your heart. When you stop, you know, letting people's opinion about you affect your mentality. Do what you got to do, man. Don't care what nobody say, and go hard.
Yeah, I'm with that. Sis, Erica, I think you had something to chime in, but I know Sharia wanted to say something. So let me let Sharia, because she ain't said nothing yet, and then Erica, I'm coming to you.
Phone breaking up.
I think sometimes we listen to respond as opposed
to say something to him and just let him know.
Because I'm hearing the very same thing that you heard, and automatically you jumped on the defense, like as if she said all you were doing was something. What she said in the previous statements were, we all have something to bring to the table. If I see that you have the ability and the wherewithal to provide food for today, but I have the ability to teach how to fish, why would you not want to work with me? And that's where the divisiveness comes in at, because I have worked with each and every one of you. I've had conversations with each and every one of you. And I can tell you that I'm not 100% sharp on everything. something might be in my blind spot. So I'm gonna need somebody standing behind me, like, yo, I got you, sis, on this one. You go ahead and focus on your strong suit, and I'll pick up the slack over here. Because ultimately, we're all standing for one cause, and that's for the betterment of our people. There should not be any divisiveness whatsoever. I can't fish. I'm here to tell you. In fact, I don't even eat fish. So you get what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we're going to use that as a point of reference or whatever the case may be, but there are other people that are in need of that very thing. So what am I going to do? I'm going to utilize each and every person that is around me that has the ability and the resources to get that thing done. If my heart is for my people, if my heart is to feed my people, if my heart is to educate my people and empower my people, I really don't give a damn who coming in to do whatever, because at the end of the day, the goal is met. And that's where I want us all to be on the same level playing. Like, I don't want to listen anymore for a chance to jump in and be combative against you. I want to know what the solution is, that we can all be on the exact same page so that we can get these things done.
I agree, sis. I agree, sis. And again, that's the entire purpose of this discussion. It's the entire purpose of this discussion is to remove a lot of the barriers that come in terms of this thing that we call social media. The fact that, you know, we all come from these different walks of life in different sectors, and we operate in different areas, and to realize that, one, we have way more in common than we have than we differ. We have way more in common. All of us care about the collective good of Black people in this country, and even more specifically, we all care specifically about the issue of the issues of Black people in our collective areas, the area especially of the Charleston, Dorchester, and Berkeley County areas. We all care about that. So sometimes, again, and like you said, this is not a time to listen to respond. This is a time to identify certain things and then identify ways to move forward together. Again, back to my euphemism from the other night, my metaphor from the other night, intersecting fields of fire. How do we cover one another? How do we cover one another? Now, I do want to make sure that I do make this point clear, because I see Ms. Kwanzaa Wanique chimed in and said, I don't think she meant that. If we're going to give out food, we should also be looking for solutions for long-term sustainability, which we should. But we can't do that and also say, well, you shouldn't be giving out food. That and that's not. I'm not talking about you, Erica. I'm just talking about people who have made that critique of organizations like the Community Resource Center.
Thank you.
That's the only thing. I'm not talking about Erica at all. And again, we should not be in this conversation in an effort to make sure we're moving it forward. Nothing should be pointed at individual people. Instead, we're pointing at bigger ideas that are being spoken in the larger context of the community. Right?
Well, ReZsaun, you know, we do more than just give out food now.
No,
you know,
I know, but I'm just using that. I'm using that one.
Yeah,
I'm just using that one.
Okay.
I'm using that one because, like, we've done, we know this. Like we know, and those who don't know, before we get off, we're gonna talk about everything that everybody does. But I wanted to knock out a few topics, right? So that's when I think we talked about the division. In that regard, I wanted to bring up another topic. We talked about division in the ranks. I want to talk about cause or clout. Cause or clout. Right, that's the next topic for this next segment of this discussion, right? So, the Bible says, you know, I'm a Christian, by the way. If you're not a Christian, by all means, let it roll off your back like a duck. I'm not tripping. But the Bible says, you know, when you give, do not give as the hypocrites give, not to be seen. But so I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that discussion in the terms of the nonprofit sector, because I don't think that scripture actually applies to the nonprofit sector, and I'm going to tell you why. But before I do, I want y'all to talk about giving with a camera, because there's been a lot of critiques about activists and people who work in the community who do it and show what they do. So let's talk about that. And Sharia, you went last time, so I'm going to let you go first.
It's a pet peeve for me, first and foremost, to give anything, and I felt that way prior to me even stepping into activism or anything, because I've been on the end that was needed of help. And in my lowest and darkest moments, you know what I'm saying, I would have been absolutely humiliated if cameras were pointed at me to show that, oh, she's down, she's hungry, she's destitute, she's desperate, you know what I'm saying, for help. And here I am, but I'm here to help. That would have been humiliating for me. And because I know how I felt in some of my dark moments, I absolutely am never going to put myself in a position of acting out or acting in a way that I know would have brought me shame had I been in that position. I'm no longer in the position that I was in once upon a time. So because of that, and here's the thing, I am not going against people that, you know, you need to get certain information out to the community. So you use your social media platform to get information out. I'm talking about simply bringing glory to yourself, if you will, because you've done something good. If it is in your heart to do good, you don't really care who's watching. Because you want to make sure that your brother got a meal. There's been plenty of times, you know what I mean, that I pulled up at the light and the homeless guy standing there at, you know what I'm saying, at the light with a sign or whatever. I'm simply going to reach into my ashtray and I'm going to pull out whatever's there. But if I got online first, if I hit the live button on my account first, before doing it, then that shows what your heart is. And that's what I have an issue with. And I'm not coming against any one person on here, because I'm not saying that that's what any person has done. I don't really know your motives, your intentions, nor your heart. What I am saying is I have seen certain things through other mediums that I'm just like, that's not cool. You've brought more shame than you have, you know what I'm saying, something good to it. What I was talking about this morning, and I'm actually going to tag everybody to the video, but the young man was giving out $100 sneakers to the homeless. Why not buy a $50 tent? So that they have something to cover them from the rain, from the, you know what I'm saying, the elements outside. Certain things don't make any sense to me. But because I knew he wanted attention and he wanted for everybody to pat him on the back and praise his pawn, that was what his intent was. And I believe that that's all you're ever going to get from it. And then when you add another element to it, usually when your heart is not right and that's what you're doing, and then you don't get the pats on the back, that's usually when I see the Facebook statuses go up about ain't nobody supporting me, ain't nobody doing this, and ain't nobody doing that, because you're offended at the fact that you put yourself up in high regard and people aren't exalting you as such. I'm not a God. I'm not a God, and I would never proclaim to be. But what I do have is a certain level of knowledge and certain resources to be able to give to somebody else. I'm never going to pull out my phone so that I can show you guys that I just fed somebody, because I've been hungry before. I'm never going to pull out my phone to show you guys that I just, you know what I'm saying, handed some essential items to somebody that didn't have those things, because I've been in that position before as well. And I'm telling you, when you're down there, you are already desperate. You're already holding on to the last little bit of hope that you have. You're already trying to figure out what the meaning of life is and whether or not you even want to continue living it. How would you feel if cameras were pointed at you in that moment? That's what my pet peeve is about. That's it.
I'm with you. Thank you for that. Let's move to Erica, then we'll go to Shakim.
I'm with Sharia. You know, I'm a mom, and you know, I haven't been in that situation before, and haven't been, you know, in a situation where I've given before. If I pulled up someplace and I saw someone in need, and I've done it, the last thing I have thought about was to pull out my phone and give it to someone. Me being in a nonprofit, I do utilize it for my platform, and I might take pictures of the things that I've done just to kind of show the things that I've done in the community, just to let them know, you know, where their money is going when they do donate to the things that, you know, that I do. I'm not at that point, it's not that I'm actually helping someone, you know, get food or get clothes. It might be me bringing the community together. So that's my platform in which I use it. Again, like she said, there are places all over the place that may or may not be nonprofit that help people all the time. You know, you have churches, you have other little organizations within the city limits that help people. But I think the last thing that any of them do is pull out a phone and, you know, they take pictures of the people that they're doing it. I saw the post that Sharia posted up, and I'm like her, you know, the thing is, your motives and at the end game and how you treat people, to me, actually shows your intentions overall anything else. So I don't care what it is that you're doing in life. I don't care what it is that you're saying in life. However you say it, whenever you do it, and whatever it happens at the end, how you treat them along the way and how you've treated them, that shows your true intention of whatever it is that occurred from the beginning. Whether it is advocating, whether it is having a relationship, whatever, whether it's helping someone who's in need, how you treated them throughout the process when you did it shows your intentions overall.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Well said. Shakim.
And both
You
sisters
need.
made valid points. I agree with them. But in all honesty, like I don't really care. Like I don't sit back and really. My issue right now has become very desensitized because like I just try to make sure that I see I don't have not knocking nobody, but I have time to sit back and really like judge what other people are doing and their intentions. Like because I figure out
You're breaking up bad, bro.
I'm breaking up.
Yeah. Can y'all hear him?
You hear me?
It's breaking up. I can hear though.
It's bad. It's real bad.
Yeah,
I thought it was my phone the entire time.
All right, he's gonna go out and come back in. So I wanna chime in right there. I see he just came back in. Hopefully it's better. It's probably the area.
Okay.
Yeah.
My air. Okay, I should be a little better now. My
Much
signal
better.
went up.
Much better.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah, my signal went up. You know,
Just start from the beginning.
okay, yeah, both of the sisters like made real good points, right? Sharia made a good point, and I agree with her. Erica made a good point, and I agree with her.
Pause. Her name is Sharia. I need to say that because.
Oh, Sharia. Okay,
Yeah.
Sharia. My bad. Sharia.
big on
Okay,
names.
Sharia.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right, Sharia. She made a good point. Erica made good points. But at this point in the game, I don't have time. Not to say not nobody, but I can't really judge nobody's intentions because when you get so entrenched in the work that you're doing, bro, I got deadlines to meet. You know what I'm saying? I got like so much stuff on my plate and trying to figure out like how we gonna maneuver through COVID-19. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep operations running. You know, so I got so much stuff on my plate, bro. I can't sit back and sit there and worry about if somebody is doing something for the camera or not. But I got like so much stuff on my plate. So, at the end of the day, man, I kind of let people do them. And I learned that. And I just embrace people with love, man, and support and just kind of do what I need to do.
Indeed. I agree. I agree. I wanna talk about that point though that they made, and I think that's really the distinction. I think what Shakim said is absolutely correct. You cannot judge a person's intentions, and if I'm a homeless,
and let me add something too. And a lot of times, to be 100% honest with you, some of them don't really mind. We might just see that like, damn, why he taking a picture with that person? But I done have many people out there who I help. They don't mind taking a picture. You know what I'm saying? They might want to take a picture. So you really don't know at a certain point in time. So but like I said, bro, Eric, those two sisters made some good points, and I agree with them 100%.
Yeah.
But like, I can't sit there and really go too much on it because I got so much stuff I gotta handle. Like I can't. Who am I to judge?
No, I agree. So I wanted to chime in on that point that was made about that aspect as far as pulling out a camera to do something. One, if that's something that somebody decides to do, I don't stand behind it. But I also know that I've never been so hungry that I've been waiting for somebody to give me food. So would I love it if somebody did that? If I was starving and somebody brought me a meal, hey mama, what's going on? If I saw somebody, if I was starving and somebody brought me a meal, would I be like, dang man, I'm not gonna take this sandwich because this dude got a camera? Nah, I'm probably gonna still take that sandwich. Would I probably be embarrassed about it later if my kids are watching and they're like, oh dang, look, daddy needs a sandwich. But you know what I wish? I wish my kids would see that video and see, dang, my daddy needs a sandwich. You see what I'm saying? So like I do not like the idea of people doing things for clout at all. But I also want to make the distinction that when you work in the nonprofit sector, and I'm pretty sure that none of you are alluding to this part, but if you work in the nonprofit sector, especially an underfunded nonprofit organization that works to solve a problem, you have to document the work that you do so that the public knows these people need our support. Community Resource Center needs to show that they have lines down the street of people who need free food. You know what I mean? Like the Lowcountry Youth Services. We need to show that we have a room full of boys that need mentorship. We need mentors to come out and volunteer. We need people to donate money. We need money for this trip that we're trying to take the kids to Washington, D.C. June 2021. We need to make sure that people see that. But that's a totally different thing. If I decided on my own, ReZsaun Lewis, I'm gonna go in my pantry and I'm gonna walk in my pantry and look around at the things, because I have so many things that I'm gonna pull out my pantry, and then I say, hey guys, now I'm gonna go down to Tent City. And hey guys, I'm here at Tent City with the food that I got out of my pantry. Now I'm gonna hand it to this homeless man. Hey, Mr. Homeless Man, what's your name? Let me give you this free food because I'm a great person. Let me tell you how dope. Hey, homeless man, can you please smile and look in the camera and tell them how much you love me? That's when it becomes that. And I think there's a clear distinction to be made. So I wanted to say that Elvin's in. Thank you so much for joining us, Elvin. I got you on mute because your truck was loud. But introduce the audience, bro.
Hey, can y'all hear me? Is the background
yeah.
clear? All right, so I want to say this, right? I got into activism about 2 years ago, watching somebody else do it. I watched somebody else do it. Had they not posted, as a matter of fact, believe it was Shakim, had they not posted the video of what they were doing, it would not intrigue me to want to do it as well. So, you know, I'm real big on the fence with that when you say, oh, people are doing this for clout. How do you tell?
True.
How do you tell?
True.
Aaron goes out here every week, right? Aaron comes out here every week on Rivers Avenue, and he's giving out food every week. And I almost cussed. I'm sorry. There's a camera out here every week. Now, listen. I'm not knocking him for it, but what happened? It went from Aaron coming out here by himself every week to what? People joining him. And why did they join him? Because they saw what he was doing.
I'm with you.
Whenever you get in the process and you start knocking somebody because they do something and share it, that's inspiration. Every one of us saw somebody do something and jumped on and said, hey, I want to help. I want to do something like that as well. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can honestly say I have heard that expression so much. Oh,
you just went out. You were rolling, and then you went out.
Because guess what?
We appreciate the cheerleading. I think that's cute.
Can y'all still hear me?
But it still goes against what it is that we're saying. It's different from camera pointing at you to show light of what it is that you're doing, and you pointing a camera at yourself.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about. So I'm not going to debate back and forth on how great you are and how altogether wonderful and altogether lovely you want to be. That's not my MO. What I am saying is I applaud the efforts of everybody that is doing something. The only thing that I have an issue with is for people trying to do things to bring glory to themselves. If this is going to turn into a debacle or a debate,
let me just say this, right? I want to say something like knocked out.
No.
Cameras were pointing. For Kim's event, cameras were pointing. For my event, I ended up on the front page. These is what people of your community are doing for you. That's what it's called. Your pond being praised. It's different from you exalting yourself in the middle of the pond, coming out with lights and frills.
No,
because you want everybody to know that you're wonderful. And that's the only thing that I have an issue with. So I'm just gonna let you know now. I'm not debating back and forth. I'm not trying to take away or discredit or dishonor anything that anybody in our communities have done, because my heart is for my community, period. And I applaud the efforts of everybody that's out there feeding, out there, you know what I'm saying, that have campaigns for literacy and so on and so forth, because that makes my community better. You're just not going to see me with a camera on myself every time I go knock on somebody's door and ask them, hey, do you have everything that you need? Is everything okay? That's what I'm saying. Cameras are going to be pointed. We're in the community and we're all on social media platforms. And some of us have several social media platforms. There are always going to be cameras pointing at you. There's difference when you're pointing the camera at yourself.
Agreed. I think that's a great point. That's a great point. And again, but I again, like you said,
let me say something real quick, because I'm about to go. Let me say something real quick, because I gotta go. But I hear, I think that was Erica that just made that point. Was that Erica?
No, Sherelle.
Oh, Sherelle. And like I said, I understand her point, but bro, at the end of the day, if you want to point a camera at you, man, point your camera at you. Because I mean, even though I might not, videotape myself going to somebody's house or something, and I understand that, man. At the end of the day, let people do them, man. I feel like that's when I started actually, beginning to I would say enjoy what I do, because of somebody. I mean, even if I look and I'd be like, but at the end of the day, man, that's how people want to do their work, their line of work. Then that's how they do their line of work. Because I mean, like, I don't want to be too judgmental of people, man, when they do what they do. I don't want to start judging their intentions. She's right though. People got crazy intentions, but man, how do I know, man?
But
I don't know.
But you also don't want to discourage the person. I know you got to go.
Yeah. And let me finish. I want to say this, man. No, I don't know any one of us who get paid for what we do. Right? We don't get paid for it. Can y'all? Well, you get paid for it.
I get paid now.
I don't get paid for it. Keenan don't get paid for it. So we don't get paid for it. Do you understand what it takes to have and care about somebody else's problems when you got your own problems at home?
Yeah.
Like I be at school board meetings on a Wednesday night or a Monday night, and I'm fighting for kids. ReZsaun, I don't have any kids in Charleston County School.
Agreed.
I don't have a child. All my children out of school. I don't have a child. So when I'm sitting in this 2-hour meeting fussing for children that don't even affect me or my children, you know what I'm saying? I got a life. Like I got things I can do. I got a life. Like since I've become an activist, you know what I haven't done it forever? I haven't gone and played basketball like I used to in a long time. I used to love playing basketball.
Yeah,
you know that, we used to get up all the time and go hoop.
Right.
When the last time you hooped? Exactly. Like I have given up so much of my personal life doing this life. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I said on Sunday, like you and I had the conversation one day. I think I called you one night and I was going to talk about something going on. And I respect what you said. You was like, brother, I can't talk to you because I had to dedicate yourself to your family time. You had a cut off time and that was your family time. Yeah. So you know what? I've been like, well, Don, I like that. I'm going to do the same thing. So Sunday is my day. That's it. Like, I'm not going out there to fuss with no flaggers, man. Right. You see where I'm at now. I'm in the truck now. So when I finally get a day off and get out this truck, I'm not knocking them guys, but I'm not going down there. Now, I support them guys. I do what I do behind the scenes to support them. When school crank back up, I already know what it's going to tell us. I'll be back out here in these schools, doing what I can do to help out in the schools. But I don't think that anybody, I haven't met anyone who does it for clout because you're not getting paid for it. Maybe if you was getting paid for it, you could say, well, yeah, he's just doing it because he's getting a check. But you must not have no life. Because everybody I know got something they could be doing. Yeah.
So I think that's a great point. I think that's a good place to stop that. I think we all agree to a certain extent. And would I single-handedly say that I've seen people do things, quote unquote, for a clout? Yes. Yes, I have. And it's obvious when it's happening. It's obvious when it's happening. Tell mom I said hey. Sorry, it's obvious when it's happening, and I think, but I think the way we deal with that has to change. And I'm trying to think of a good way to say this. Elvin, you know me. If there's something that you do that I disagree with, what do I do?
You call me.
I call you.
Yeah.
If I didn't have your number, what would I do?
Inbox me.
I would inbox you. I reach out to you individually and I say, this is the problem that I have. And I do that because my goal isn't to be seen correcting you. My goal is for our mission, our collective mission, to be accomplished. And if I see you moving in a way that I think is going to take away from your overarching mission, I'm going to reach out to you and say, hey, bro, I know where your heart is. But somebody else who sees that, they don't know your heart. And that's I heard somebody say, ladies like to say, get you a friend that'll correct your crown without telling everybody that they did it. I think that's really important that we do in this activist community. And I think that that's the way that we best move this mission forward. So I want to leave that there. We did a great job of uncovering that issue. I want to talk about this because there's been a lot. And Erica, I see you trying to get back in, but your camera's not connecting. So you got to go out and come back in again. I'm gonna kick you out.
Hey, ReZsaun, can you add this on it too?
Yeah.
You gotta understand this. what happens in a lot dealing with activism in the world is everybody thinks that you're supposed to move the way you want them to move, the way they want you to move.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
if they don't agree with what you're saying, then they think you're wrong and you're lost. But it's like, guess what? I might not be speaking for the masses. For instance, when you and I had the conversation about the schools, right?
Yes. Yes.
I was speaking on behalf of the small amount of people, how little it may be, who aren't able to go to school. Regardless of it's just 6, 7 kids, I don't care if it's 5, 6, 7 kids, it's those children who virtual learning will deny them a way to go to school. Right? Now, the problem is with people is when the problem don't affect them, they don't care. And that's what we get a lot of. See, that's what I get a lot of backlash for, because I speak for the person in the corner that everybody will overlook it. So when I use my voice and I start speaking for them, and everybody looks, I have had it. I mean, people get on my post and I'll say something for them, and then I'll just be battling back and forth with people, and they be in my inbox like, "Thank you, Elvin." That's why I didn't say nothing, because I didn't want to get the backlash and people treating me like this. And it's a shame. It's like people forget that we all humans. What would you do if your child couldn't get an education? What would you do if your child was hungry? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's what we have to get to too, is that we can't just, it's not always going to be the masses. What I say is not always going to be what everybody agrees on.
Yeah.
What I'm standing up for isn't always going to be the masses. Remember, ReZsaun, when we had the big thing on the Whaling, when people didn't agree with the park being open?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that fight? We had a big fight with that.
I remember.
People were losing their mind because here I go fussing for these kids that wants to keep the basketball court open.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People were losing their mind. That was a big fight. And you came out, you was out there, you showed support me, we was out there playing with the kids. But look what we had to go through.
Right. So I think that's one that actually gets me to my next point about supporting one another, right? About supporting one another. Erica, you came back, so thank you so much. I know you've been having some technical difficulties. But I want to talk about supporting one another. I have my own thoughts on that, but I'll hold mine till last. I want to talk. Let's start with each of y'all have hosted protests. I don't think, Elvin, you haven't actually hosted a protest.
Have I ever hosted?
Yeah.
No, I've never hosted it.
You've attended them, but you've never hosted one.
I mean, like, I've done candle visuals. I've done.
But you didn't like organize. What I'm saying is, you didn't like organize it. You've attended them, you supported them, but you haven't hosted one. So I want to start with Sharia, because I think Sharia had the first one, and then Erica had the second one. Correct? Correct? Am I on that one? All right.
I've had a few, and she can go first. I've had.
All right, yeah. So yeah, that weekend it was that way. So that's what I'm thinking about. Sharia. So let's talk about the amount of support that we received from the larger community, and not just from the larger community, but the activist community. And what does that speak? What does that say to you, Sharia?
One that's broad, and I have to tell you that
I know
that is a source of contention for me.
I know.
And simply because I don't see the level of support across activists that I feel we should see. And I think I'm going to reach and say that I think that the reason why that is because the platform that I'm protesting for isn't their platform. And so they only have maybe the mental dexterity to only deal with what it is that they're dealing with. And because that fight is such an engulfing one, that they're exhausted when they do have some time off. So I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that because this is exhausting. You know what I mean? There's constantly things going on there. You know what I mean? You got people out here, pushing for changes in the judicial system as far as police reform and everything is concerned. And Erica's going, and Elvin is too, going up for the school board. And I just want some changes to be made on the school board as it affects our children. And then, of course, we have, these national deaths and huge issues that have taken place, and so that became a thing. And then we have people here in our city that are then being assaulted for by reform. And we were like, Jesus, we were just out last week, for the George Floyd thing, and then we were just out the week before for this, that, and the other. So it does become exhausting. However, if there is something that you're going to do, even if you cannot be there physically, then I feel that best case scenario, or worst case scenario, you should at least be on that same social media platform saying, hey, you know what I'm saying, I wish you, you know what I'm saying, the best of wishes, and I'm sending positive light in your direction if there's anything that I can do. That way the collective of people standing outside of what it is that we do can at least see the solidarity across the board. What we have given them is a platform of divisiveness. They can see that. They can see that, but what they have not seen is us all standing unified. I can count, you know what I'm saying, at least 25 right off the bat of people that are an activist here in our own community. But I can't tell you that there's ever been one time where all 25 have been in the same place at the same time.
True.
I can't say that. And so and that's an issue. Some of us try to go out to as many events, you know what I'm saying, as humanly possible. I was actually supposed to be at an event today. I wasn't able to make it. Of course, I'm going to feel guilty because I'm just one of the ones that just tries to, you know, be a part of everything. But there's some others that I haven't seen do anything at all. And they would dare say that they're an activist. And I'm like, well, at what point are you going to become active outside of putting up a social media post?
Hey,
and so
you cooking. I see you. You cooking.
We need, you know what I'm saying, to unify. We need to unify. And so I don't want to be the type of person that's just going to bring up a problem. We know that that's a problem. Every activist that you speak to will say that they don't feel 100% supportive by everybody in the activism community. So I want to at least put out the idea of us maybe having, I don't know, a softball game or something like that, where we all can come out.
That's a great idea.
We can, you know what I mean? Like, if we're doing something positive, we're all there.
Yeah.
If we want to have a conversation, cool. But let's come out, let's do something fun. But at least to let your brother and your sister know, listen, I might not be able to be there for everything, but I do got your back.
Yeah. I love that.
Because my people, the lives of my people lie in the balance because of it.
Thank you for that, sis. Erica,
you know,
what you got?
I need for somebody to go out there and feed the homeless. I can't do it every day. I can't.
Me and Sheree just talking last night.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
can you hear me?
Definitely need
I hate.
you know what I mean?
I hate Erica.
There's not enough of that.
Yeah. All right, Erica.
Oh, because real quick, because I got to go and pick my daughter up. But me and Sheree were just talking last night when she said about the softball game. When I posted up on my page yesterday, I was like, where are all my activist friends? I got some likes, I got some comments, but I looked and I saw and I see some people that were and were not there. Now, Sheree and I met because I attended one of her events. I guess that was her first event. And that's how I met her. So me and her have actually talked, and she's come to my event, and we're looking to do things forward. So like you asked in the beginning, how does activism work? This is how it works, because she and I met through activism, and we're going to keep doing something together. Now, when I started doing activism, why? Because I saw Elvin and Shakim down at the school board with the blowhorn, got the kids up on the stage, got the people running out of there, and now parents can't go down to the school anymore, and the comments are only 30 seconds long. So as a mother, I want to go in to see what I could do. Not to mention, I've also been on the fight for 15, and when I shut that traffic down, not Shakim, not Elvin was out there with me. And again, like saying, they're not knocking nobody, but let's just say it for what it's all worth. Again, activism brings on other people to do activism. Your fight may not be the next person's fight, but don't knock that person while they're fighting it. And again, it brings on relationships, which is how Sheree and I met. So again, if we collectively come together and figure out how we can reach those solutions, and like you said, I may not be able to support all of your events, but even if you come to mine, and like somebody said, I hosted something and their name wasn't there, which is why I didn't get the support from somebody else. But I stood shoulder to shoulder next to other people, knowing full well that we're still serving the community, and I still don't talk bad about nobody. So at the end of the day, this conversation that we're having right now, it should have already been had, and those are 2 likes that did not come on my post that came yesterday. I love y'all very much, and we do need to have a very sit-down, in-person sit-down, because at the end of the day, we're all in it together. You just found your route, and you let us stick to ours. And if you don't do nothing but send a bottle of water when we come, if you can't come, just still support and don't talk about nobody in the end.
I agree. I agree. I want to talk about that really quickly. Just the idea of all activists in the same place. I am one who doesn't believe that's necessary. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. Because we all have our lanes. Like you just said, you found your lane. I think that I think we have too many events. I think we have far too many events. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. If we have an activist network, which I know that there's some people working on an activist network and some protesting network, and we are all working in the realm of education, and we say education's our thing. I think those people should work together to build those protests. And they should support one another, because instead of having one every week, there's maybe one every 3 months. And they all support it, and then it's more heavily attended by everybody. If you're working on police reform, you do your police reform thing, and then everybody who aligns with police reform attend that. And if you want to support, I'll think about mentorship, right? The one thing, I've been doing mentorship for 4 years now. The one thing you never heard me say is, man, why nobody come to my events? Do you know why? Because I built a coalition around mentorship. And the people who care about mentorship, they come to mentor stuff. Those are the people that I've realized they work in my lane. And in my lane, we all work together. Now, do I think it'd be dope if we had one day and we're like, yo, we're gonna put aside our causes, quote unquote, for the day, and we're just gonna kick it? Yeah, right. Man. Like, you mean I'm not coming to being stressed? Then yeah, let's go play kickball.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, let's do that. Right? Let's do that. About. But right. I think right now the way things are set up, it's gonna kill our workforce. And that's what I worry about for the movements. I worry about the fact that there's so many things going on, and then everybody gets their feelings involved, because I had my thing and I came to your thing, but you didn't come to my thing. But like, your thing was the day after my thing, and I really should probably sleep at some point. Right? I mean, I'm just saying, like, that stuff like that is stuff that's happening. And I think that we're sort of in a way we're gonna outwork ourselves, because at some point we're gonna have to get back to life. Somebody had a protest. I forgot who it was. They had a protest in the middle of the week. And I'm like, yo, I got a job. I got to go to work. I got a family I got to feed, you know? So we got to make sure that while, yes, we are all behind you. Erica, I am 100% behind Erica. Sharia, I'm 100% behind Sharia. Now, what I also want to say is this, because they made an excellent point here. If you can't attend an event, but you're the person who tags 99 people every time you put out some kind of event, and every time you do a video, you're tagging 99 people. Well, when they put something out, you should be sharing 99 people's different stuff every single time. Don't tag. I get tagged in like a billion things a day by people who I know don't support my stuff. Am I going to tag them and be like, hey, why didn't you support my stuff? All I do is very kindly, very respectfully untag myself in your post. So if that's you, you know what time it is. It's no love lost. I'm not mad at you. I'm just not going to let you use me for my platform. And then when I need you to support my platform, you absent. That's not something I do. That's not something I support. That's not something I stand by at all. But I do want to make sure. That that I made it said that we got to come together more. And I think in groups like Mr. Jason Jones is working on, and those groups as they're working together, we have to develop those pockets of influence within those selective causes. And I think by being able to do that, we can more unify, and we'll actually find that we're more strategically strong that way, because that's where you start developing policy. That's when you actually can be able to make change. And sure, we're gonna have some people who have to be boots on the ground and stand in. If they want to stand in front of the flag, let the people stand in front of the flag. Go for it. I'm not going to stand in front of the flag. Is it because I don't believe in what they're standing for? No. I just don't put it very high on my priority of things to do. And I can say that and not be knocking what they do. Because I know my thing. I know the work that I do. We know the work that we do. And just because I'm not visibly supporting everything, doesn't mean I don't support you. Because Erica, no, even if I don't show up at her event, you better believe I'm supporting it. Hey, I need to get out to Erica's event. If Sharea's having an event, hey, you need to get out to Sharea's event. That needs to happen. If you are who you say you are. If you are who you say you are. Any thoughts on that?
No, that's right on.
Erica?
Right on. I mean, and support doesn't necessarily have to be physical either. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things that I can be there too. I can pass out flyers. You know what I'm saying? In the days leading up to it. You know what I'm saying?
Even if you just
I can
like it,
share an
even
event
if you just
personally.
like
I
it,
can
even
buy,
if you
you know what I'm
just
saying,
share
a
my
water.
post, there you go.
You know,
Yeah.
like, I mean, you can do something. And I think that it is really, really important that your fellow brothers and sisters know that you do have a heart for whatever. I may not necessarily like you as a person, but I believe in what it is that you're doing. Why?
Yes.
Because it makes us better.
It makes us better.
You understand
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? And if
Yeah.
it doesn't take anything away from you, if it's not a detriment to my life at all, to be there, to be supportive or buy a case of water or something like that, then I'm simply going to do it. And I put, you know what I'm saying, my heart, my energy, my money, you know what I'm saying, my resource or whatever to where my mouth is at. I'm never going to be simply your mouthpiece and then there's no action.
Right. No, I agree.
Everybody ain't biblical, everybody ain't Christian or whatever the case may be, but my Bible says faith without works is dead.
Come on.
So I can all day long, you know what I'm saying, look for the brighter day to come. What am I doing to reach it?
Yeah.
How am I pushing you towards it? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Elvin had made a point, and I wish that, you know, he was still on here, but I used to make a statement because he said the very same statement a few minutes ago or whatever. I said, well, I don't have no kids in the school system anymore, so it don't even affect my children anymore. That's not true. That's not true. And I'm going to tell you the reason why it isn't true anymore. Because if we allow these children to come through a system that's not built up for them and is not educating them properly, at some point they're going to become a part of the workforce. At some point they're going to become a part of your community. At some point they're going to want to run for some of these same positions. Do we want somebody that is illiterate? You know what I'm saying, in position? Do we want somebody that has ill motives in position? Do we want somebody that is so traumatized by their negative experiences in position that their whole MO is they're renegades, you know what I'm saying? Or they done set up a team of Avengers to go after somebody that has wronged them? Or do we want for people to be able to hold a great deal of diplomacy, to be able to have a conversation, to be able to sit, you know what I'm saying, in the company of greater people so that everybody comes up with them? So it does affect you. My kids don't go to the same school that your kids go to, but if your children, you know what I'm saying, are now going on 20 years old reading at a 5th grade level, does that affect our community? Absolutely. So we have to stop saying, I ain't got to do this because it don't affect us. It affects you. It affects us each and every day. You know what I'm saying? Your literacy level, that affects me. You know what I'm saying? Your traumas that you deal with, that affects me. The state of your mental health, that affects me. You understand what I'm saying? Because what I do not want is for you to procreate and have children that are now going to grow up in the same manner in which you have and now are going to school with my grandchildren.
Yeah, I love it, sis.
How do we change this? At what point do, you know what I'm saying, we start breaking cycles? We break cycles by getting involved in some of the things that we don't think affects us at all.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is. And I had to sit down with myself. So I sit down with myself.
You gotta do that. You gotta sit down with yourself.
Myself and be like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, is that the best way to go about this? I used to once upon a time I wasn't like that. You already know this.
Yeah, I do.
But at this point now, I'm just like, is this healthy? Is this going to make me happy? And will this make us whole? I need for us to be whole. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Holistically. Our environment has to be whole. Educationally, we need to be whole. I need for not just my kids to be able to have a conversation with a diplomat. I want your kids to be able to have a conversation with a diplomat. I don't want my kids to be the only one that has $250,000 or greater and you know what I'm saying, and monies to be able to go away to college, because I want your children to be able to go away to college as well. I want to come back to my neighborhood and not see so many people standing underneath the tree because they didn't make it.
Yeah.
It affects us.
Yeah, absolutely, sis. Absolutely. I want to thank you for joining me. Everybody else is gone, and I I wanted it to be an hour, and we're at an hour and 7 minutes. So I feel good about this. I feel like we got a lot of stuff out that we needed to get out. I feel like the larger community knows where we stand on things. And I hope that this is a launch pad or a platform from which we can have larger discussions surrounding advocacy and activism, and how do we work as a collective in our individual respective areas to build those areas. Because I heard, I'll say this and I'll get out of here. I heard, I want to say Reverend Benton, Pastor Benton from Mount Moriah. I heard him speaking, and at a nonprofit event that I went to last year, and he talked about the idea of a wall, right? A community wall. If you're building a wall around a house, right, or around a neighborhood, right, each part of that wall is important, and each of us are working to build our part of the wall, whether that part be in community advocacy, criminal justice reformation, feeding people, homelessness, youth advocacy, whatever it is that your sexual harassment, sexual advocacy, reducing all of these problems that exist. All of those things are a part of the wall. And no matter how high I build my part of the wall, if your part of the wall isn't completed, the enemy can still get through. So what I have to do is find ways to build my part of the wall without taking bricks from your part of the wall. I can't do that. I cannot take bricks from your part of the wall to build my part of the wall higher, because all I'm doing is making it easier for the enemy to attack us and take us down. And if what we care about is a community that is safe for all of our people, then we got to work on that wall together. And then when I realize my part of my wall is really high, now I got to go over to Sharea's side and figure out, hey, Sharea, how do I help you build your wall? Now I go to Erica. I say, hey, Erica, I see your wall. Your part of the wall is struggling a little bit. How can I help you build your wall? Hey, Elvin, I see that your part of the wall is struggling. How can I help you build your wall a little bit? Hey, Shakim, I see your part of the wall is struggling. How do I help you build your wall a little bit? The sooner we get to that, the better we will be as a people, the better we will be as a culture, the better we'll be as a society, and the better we'll be as a nation. My name is ReZsaun Lewis, and I approve that message. Anything you want to say, Parton, sis?
In parting, I want to put this out there for every advocate in the community, regardless of what your platform is, every activist in our communities, regardless of what you're standing for us to give ourselves one day where we can just come out, just have a good time, fellowship, you know what I mean? Pat each other on the back if that's what we're going to do. You know what I'm saying? I said a softball game. I can't really play softball, but I'm
kickball.
You know what I mean? To kickball, that works too. You know what I mean? Just one day where we can take some time away from everything that's going on in our everyday lives and everything that's going on from the stress of these things that we have to advocate for, and just have a good time and let them know, listen, I'm not against you. I'm not against you at all. And whatever it is that I got to take, look, I got some extra bricks on my side to help build your wall. Yeah. And I need you to know, you know what I'm saying, that I'm more than willing to reach over there and hand them to you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. That's all it takes. Thank you, sis. You know, I love you. Like, this is my sister for real, y'all. This is my sister for real. That she knows what my heart is when it comes to her. And she knows I will fight any of y'all for her. So please don't try it. But for real, seriously. But thank y'all for watching. I hope this, people are saying it's been a meaningful discussion. They've enjoyed hearing the dialogue. I think that this is more needed. I would love to get more activists on the line to talk about these kinds of things in the future. We have to continue to talk to one another, not talk about one another, because in talking about my brother or my sister, I can't actually help my brother or sister, believe it or not. So that's all I got. Sister Sharea, I love you, girl. You already know what time it is. And I'm going to exit out. Where's my theme music?
Signing off.
Signing off. Yes.